Plus, you're in a Range Rover.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Does that means I'm an ass?
No, but I mean, it could be
you talking a little bit of Josh. Is that supposed to be okay with me? Did he touch your
nipples.
ask me? We're going there. Bless your heart. Welcome. I want to thank you all with immense gratitude for spending time with me. This is a podcast where we dive deep into the real, raw, and often taboo conversations about culture, relationships, and intimacy. We keep it honest, insightful, and full of humor, creating a space where nothing is off limits. Think of it as your late night conversations with your posse. At its core, the Fully Erect Podcast is about empowerment, giving people the confidence to own their desires, communicate openly in their relationships, and break free from outdated stigmas. So join me. We're breaking barriers and breaking stereotypes. Hello, Jackie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Jackie is, I call her Jack. That's kind of what I prefer to call her, but her real name is Jackie Sheffalo. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I get the spelling wrong because I'm like, is it 2 L's, 2 F's? But Sheffalo.
It's Sheffalo.
Sheffalo.
Yeah.
Because you would pronounce the 2 F's. Sheffalo would be 1, maybe.
I mean, it is a little weird if you...
It is.
Yeah, I can see why people say
Yeah.
Chiefalo.
They do.
They
always
say
are like
Sheffalo.
Sheffalo, yeah.
I've
and then
heard
sometimes
a lot.
I'll put like 2 L's on it. But anyway.
I've never had an easy last name.
No, what was your maiden?
Well, my maiden name was Reinhard, which isn't too hard.
Reinhard?
Yeah, Reinhard.
Like,
yeah. And then my first marriage was Prophet.
Prophet's great.
But with a
Reinhard's
PH.
hard.
Reinhard with
How do you
a
spell
D.
that?
Reinhard. No T.
Heard.
Reinhard.
Like hard. So this is why we having Jackie on. We're going to talk
Fully
about
erect.
we're going to see and talk about, can you have your dreams always? Can you always follow your dreams? Can you always have this thing that you want to do, and at any age it's possible? And so I wanted to have Jackie on because Jackie's she's a trailblazer, in my opinion. She had a life in California. That's where she raised her 3 kids. And then you raised your 3 kids there, and then got divorced, was there single for how long? With 3 kids.
It's a typical California divorce. We separated in 2008, and we didn't finalize till 2015.
No kidding?
Yeah. And we both had other relationships even
And
during
it was just open to that. Like, that's not...
Well, we were really nitpicky about some of the details. I'm not really sure why it dragged on so long. But it did. But it did.
I mean, that's a long time.
It is a long time.
So then what? You were living your life there in California, and what are the things that you loved about it? Like, what do you love about California and where you lived?
Well, we lived in Pacific Palisades,
right?
So it's a little bittersweet to talk about that. I really was never an ocean person. I mean, I think the whole 20 plus years I lived there, I went in the ocean maybe like literally 10 times.
No, but you like to be on the ocean.
But I liked the weather was, you can't beat it. I mean, you can't beat the weather. Pacific Palisades in particular, you got the Santa Monica Mountains coming right up to the ocean.
It's perfect.
You never get those combos. So, I mean, I miss the Santa Monica Mountains. I mean, I spent a lot of time hiking up there. I miss that kind of nature.
Yeah.
And, I miss my friends. I mean.
So that was hard. But
that was hard.
So, what happened? You met the man that you're married to now, and
Roger.
You were dating Roger for how long?
Roger and I met on Instagram in 2016, not as like a dating thing, but we just...
how?
He made a comment on one of my posts. I had a small little handbag company, and I was really focused on made in USA, small batch manufacturing, and I'm not sure if the algorithms sort of threw us together, and he made a comment on one of my photos, just, hey,
really?
I make hats. Apparently I was wearing a bad hat. So he was like, we make hats. And I was like, oh, you do? And I just was like, hey, I got a buddy in Texas who makes hats.
And then she kept talking to you like
we were
he
like
does.
little pen pals. I mean,
yeah.
But it was like that for 5 months before, obviously we moved on from talking about Made in America and like what he does, his hats, and what I do with my bags. And, then we started talking about just, dating after divorce and kids and life and all that stuff. And then we kind of realized that we had a lot more in common. And after 5 months, he was just like, have you ever been to Fort Worth? And I said, I've never been to Texas. So he flew me out.
You were staying in Fort Worth the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
First time.
Yeah.
Where did he take you?
Oh, it took me home.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it was like, oh, okay, done. Like, that was it.
Like y'all sealed the deal that night?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I knew.
No dinner before, no wonderful
No, because
drink,
now that I know
cocktail?
Roger, it was like he picked me up at the airport. He was going to take me to, I think it was not Pacific Table. What's the other one?
Press Cafe?
Yeah, Press Cafe.
Yeah.
He was like, they're closed. I'm like, yeah, it's like 10:30 at night, and I was like, where am I? And we're on this river, and
is this guy a rapist?
I was like, what's up with this guy? And
Bro.
then took me home, and then that was it. I mean, I was all in.
You were all in.
All in.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
I can see that though.
Yeah.
I mean, when you know, you know.
Yeah. Well, I sort of felt like I had fallen in love with him before I met him in person. But
you almost didn't even need to see him. You were going along with pictures.
Yeah,
You guys are communicating because he's a great
talked every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
For hours.
Hours. And then
did you ever go, oh, my jaw
Well,
is
it
killing
was
me.
just like, okay, I mean, we both had like work to do. But we just couldn't stay away from each other for a day. I mean, every day we talked.
Talking.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's amazing. That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
You understand, that's the authenticness
Yes.
of like really meeting someone, getting to know somebody,
Yes.
and then just talking on the phone.
Right. I mean, it's sort of like we liken it to the old days of just like correspondences.
It's called the 80s. Remember we were dating in the 80s?
Yeah.
Because you and I are close in age, right?
I'm 55.
I'm 56.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm 57. Oh. God, Kelly.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Put it all out there.
Yeah. I think we just knew.
It's interesting. Yeah, you just know.
Yeah,
I think at that age, well, what was that, 2016?
Yep.
Okay, so you started coming to Fort Worth. He started coming here. But look, get back to the handbags. You were always doing your own entrepreneur kind of stuff once you divorced?
Yeah, I was.
Or were you doing that with the children? And
I
it was a side
always
job?
was like the crafty mom, and I mean, yes, there were other things that I would do just to be. I mean, I was always creative, always making something, always crafting something, always on committees that were more
always into fashion too.
Always into fashion, more as just my own fashion. I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I used to be a prop stylist, but I was never a fashion stylist. I mean, I like things. I'd rather work with things than like people, like models.
But you liked fashion.
Yeah, I like
you
fashion.
would say you really like fashion.
Yeah, and I would say being in LA really probably, put the seal on all of my things that I like into one sort of look. I think LA was pretty receptive to me, like taking.
So you're pretty successful. You were selling those
Fashion.
handbags in LA to people because they were all vintage, basically.
No, they were all just newly made, and I mean
they were all brand new.
Yeah, they were just small
that's why
batch.
You're so good at
Yeah. So, I just wanted to be creative,
So y'all were talking about opening a store. You were like, I want a brick and mortar, and he's not about to move to California because he is a Texas boy.
Well, we knew that was never going to happen.
Or you didn't want to do that. Well, I mean, you liked California enough that you were like, okay, my kids are here.
But I didn't really see. He was pretty clear about never ever moving there.
Okay.
And there's no way we would have been able to open a store in LA.
No, or the Pacific Palisades.
Or Pacific Palisades, or buy a house, or I mean, it's just
a different lifestyle.
My lifestyle there was, there was lots that I loved about it in terms, but it was hard to save money. Every time you sneezed, it was seemed like $500.
Yes.
It was just like really expensive to live there. It was very hard to save, and it's a very high end lifestyle out there. Even if you're just like not going overboard, it's just expensive.
So, like for instance, when he would, tell me kind of how the story led. Like you, all of a sudden, he's like, "We're gonna get married." You were dating kind of for a long time.
Yeah,
2016, 2000.
Yeah, and we got married in 20.
Okay.
So back and forth for those years.
Now he went there a lot because I can remember running into him.
We went through phases where he would come every 2 weeks. or we go back and forth, or then I seem to go there. It just depended on the season and what my kids were doing and what their activities were, like, because my son was playing football at Pally High.
And so was he coming to the football games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And then my daughter was in volleyball. So it was like it had its rhythm,
And then when was it like I'm out, like I'm coming to Texas? It's just easier. Was it about easy?
We always planned that we were going to wait for my youngest to graduate high school, and then COVID.
Oh, COVID hit.
Yeah, and COVID was really, it was difficult for me. Yeah, because, and I always say, COVID was one of those things that's it's gonna tap into your deepest core of like, what is your driving. What is your base kind of emotion, I guess is the best way to put it, is like, are you a fearful person? You're living in fear. You're down,
Yes.
You're down for all of it. Yeah. Now, if you're someone like me who's probably my inner bedrock is like a little bit not so compliant, don't like to be told what to do.
A little bit of bohemian.
Yes, a little bit of a rebel. I feel like I have an honest relationship with myself about my health status, and like I feel like a lot of people need to be honest about themselves about like where they are health wise and stuff. And a lot of it just did not make sense to me, and it was hard. It was hard to. I felt like I was in a state of waiting. And
I think that was, I'm not trying to interrupt you on this, but I feel like I was in Texas, totally different. We were out for 2 weeks. I'd say a little uncomfortable for a couple weeks. Yeah. People, whatever.
Yeah.
California, shut
down.
And like you don't go to the neighbor's house without a mask. I mean, they were like
and I
living and breathing it.
At that time, I lived in a building that had a lot of older people who were
shoving it down your throat.
Well, they were terrified. I mean, and I have compassion for that.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do
but,
too.
it was...
They worked on them. See, that's the thing. They did work on them.
They were scared. Like, let's put it that way. And I have compassion for that too, but I'm also just like, I couldn't go to the market early like I like to because they were reserving that for like certain people. I mean, it was like there was all these like arbitrary rules and they just like didn't make sense. And I started to feel really like almost trapped. Like I felt a little trapped. I felt like I was in a constant state of waiting, waiting for things to be lifted, waiting for this, waiting for that. And it was just like, when I start to feel like that, So
that's when you said, I'm going to move to Texas?
And that's when I said to Roger, I'm like, you know what? Let's just fucking get married. I mean, like, I can't
So how was that like with your children? Like,
That was hard. Yeah. That was hard.
So was it more hard about like the judgment of it? Like people saying she just leave her children with the, I mean, like what does that look like?
I mean,
did you even care about that?
Well, I don't really care what most people like think, but I know my bestest girlfriends, I mean, they got it. They because they were kind of in the same boat as me where it was just like, yeah, I don't blame you, like you should go, and we love Roger. And for my kids, it was like, look, Mom, we know you're not just like going off to Texas to like fuck your boyfriend, we know that like we feel safe with him. We love Roger. Was
it like a senior? One was a senior in high school?
Yeah. So my son was a senior at Pally. It was like no
prom, how was the
sophomore? That was hard.
Wow.
It was hard for my youngest, for 100%. And so they understood.
She wasn't willing to go to Texas.
No, and I didn't want to put that on her. And she was really tight with her friends, and I know how important your friends are, when you're in high school.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, and I always say to her, we can talk about it as many times as you want, and in as many different ways as you want. Like, it's always a conversation that I'm willing to have with her in terms of like how much it hurt her and the guilt that I felt. But we, so it's a very double-edged sword, for sure. When I told my best friends that I was moving to Texas, I mean, my one girlfriend just looked at me and was like,
wow.
Oh my God, you're going to be well, they know Roger too, and they were like, "You're gonna be so busy. You're gonna be so busy, and we're never gonna see you.
Yeah.
We're like never gonna see you again." But I would go back and go for school things and still get my hair done there, and and I mean.
But it's different than being there every single
Yes,
day.
and that was the thing that hurt the most, I think, for my youngest, which was just, even though we had shared custody, just knowing that I was there, like coming home, we didn't have to be together, but just something I was cooking. I mean, all those things, those were gone. And that was definitely hard for her. And that's a guilt. It's like still.
Oh, I can't imagine.
It still hurts.
Because I think like people are like, oh, you're just going out for your dreams. But like not only were you going to get married, you wanted to start this company.
Right. So, I mean, back to your point about if there's judgment about me like leaving or abandoning or whatever, I felt like I was running towards something. If you want, like,
which is great. It's
yes,
because you were gonna you were completing a goal. Like the goal was becoming, like you had these goals and you were going to start this company and you were going to get married. And these are goals, and now all of a sudden they're becoming the truth. Right. I mean,
right. And so I think like when you're put in a situation where you're in this state of waiting for things, or waiting for your time with the kids, like with your ex, or waiting for whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and Roger and I always feel like the way we are now, we feel like we're always in a hurry because we're trying to play catch up, because there's so much we want to do and there's so much that we want to do together. And so the flip side of all the bad feelings about leaving really was showing my kids, like modeling what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah.
They feel safe with him. They love him. They have a home in Texas that they love, that I never could have had that situation in California. I mean, just financially, it was too hard.
Yeah.
And so we've come a long way in these 4 years, five, coming on 5. It is hard. And so sometimes the hardest thing to do is like the right thing to do, and it's just
So no regrets.
No.
So tell me about your company, like that you have here together. Did y'all just sit around and go, oh, we're going to do this, or did you talk years prior, like we're going to have this company that's all American, West? I mean, tell us about kind of like.
I think it just always was woven into every conversation that we had. Like we had these dreams pretty early on. Like, what is it? A department store? Is it like our own? Like we would play with names, and we would,
But you knew the name pretty.
Yeah. So, and then I think it was just a matter of, you can't be measuring people's heads for vintage cowboy hats like in Starbucks. Like you need a store.
He would come to your house and stuff, because I remember my parents.
He'd come to your house, or they'd be on the dining room table.
But it was fine. I mean, it was just a hobby for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he does something else.
Yes. So Roger's commercial real estate, and this was like a hobby gone totally wild.
Tell me about this hat. I got it at your store. See, I geared up for you.
Yeah.
I wore the shirt.
You did, yes.
I mean, maybe not the jewelry, but this shirt, this hat. What's going on with it? Someone said to me the other day, oh, that's so cool, that hat. I go, yeah, it is, right? And I go, don't even ask me the story. Something about a rodeo guy going all over Australia. I said, but then they go, oh my gosh, I thought it was that you were basically saying the Cowboys football team was lost. I'm like, well, that works too.
Well, I can see that in Texas.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah. So the Lost Cowboy, that hat is actually the swag that goes with a book, and the book is called The Lost Cowboy. And he wrote it about his experiences cowboying on 6 of the 7 continents. It's a fascinating book. And he starts off in Australia, and he's wrangling wild bulls. And it is Mad Max. It's like jeeps and chains and fighting bulls and tying them. I mean, it's wild.
Where does he live?
He's in Wyoming.
Oh shoot! Okay, is he coming up for anything? I'll
he
put
comes
him on
up.
my podcast.
We gave him his first book signing, and
I remember that. And I think I came to it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was the first thing.
It was real cool.
It was one of the events we did that
I'm
proud of. That I'm proud of
what fits.
Yeah, I'm proud of JB.
But you do a lot of that. Like you have a lot of in your store. You really represent
regional.
Yeah,
yes.
And people that are like starting out in fashion, that are like more Western style, but like chic. right?
I like to
more
call
chic Western.
Yes,
I'm gonna put my readers on. And
yeah, I like to call it like we're somewhere in between. Roger calls it like urban Western. It's really like our riff on, everyone loves the Western culture, but not everybody wants to go all in. Like they don't want to be head to toe. They feel a little funny. So we found that maybe we have found the little kind of balance in between. Urban chic, Western, urban Western. I call it Old West, New Americana, because that other part of
it's
it
called
is
Cephalo Americana,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So the newer brands are made in America, small batch. We don't go to market.
Nothing's Chinese.
Nothing's Chinese.
Not stitching, not the thread where the thread came from.
Okay, well now if you want to be that pure, nobody's that pure. So
nobody is. Okay,
well,
see?
leather comes from Italy. I mean, there's few.
But you buy vintage cool belts, the belt straps with the buckles on that have and those are definitely, we don't know where that came from. I mean, we don't know where the leather came from.
I think the fun thing is finding stuff that like our shearlings, for example, like vintage shearlings, like the Marlboro Man kind of look.
Yeah.
I love the labels that are like JCPenney, made in USA, Sears has a sheep shop. It's like
exclusively. They used to do like exclusively.
Yes, and a lot of the vintage fringe and leather, it comes from Minnesota, it comes from Wisconsin. It was like all these little stores that, if you hunted deer and you had it processed and I mean, like, it was all like 360 degrees, nothing was wasted. At least a lot of it was not wasted. And that's honestly how I grew up. And that's how Roger grew up. So
Meaning grow up, what do you mean?
You always
were American made?
Well, everything was American made.
Yeah, they were. I think they were because you say you and Roger, but you and I are more the same age.
But don't you remember when everything started being sent over?
Yes.
Yeah. So
because we had Ronald Reagan, he was all about America, always about American.
But even before that, so stuff was just made locally. There was always like someone in your town that
So it's pretty easy for you to find vendors locally.
Yeah.
I mean, you would say pretty easy for you to stay consistently on top of
locally,
that
regionally.
fashion.
Yeah, but I bring in some LA peeps that I know that still work in that same. I mean, LA has a big manufacturing district, there's a lot was manufactured in LA.
I know.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
You don't ever go to Dallas Market? That's not your deal. Yeah.
Almost went this year just to see, and we just
and you
never
thought it was
made
just
it.
a waste of time.
Well, it's not that I thought it was a waste of time. I just it wasn't a strong enough pull to see who was there. That was, I like to be different. I don't want to go to booths where I think so many other people are going. I mean, I'd like to find the little never been seen before, the little gem or the little thing. I mean, that's to me like the hunt. That's what I'm looking for.
But when you went to Round Top, what was your thought? Because I know you hadn't been there before.
Round Top,
and you've been in Texas how long?
Well, officially 20. So since 25 years, coming on 5 years.
But did it shock you, Round Top?
Round Top was very, very I found it very distressing.
Just too much
information?
It was
too much. It was, I didn't want to go in any kind of capacity other than to just observe.
Yeah.
And it was like sensory overload for me.
It can be, and I think it's more retail now. I don't think you're finding deals. I think it's not deal, I'm getting a deal and I'm going to resell it.
It's got a weird energy. Now, I mean, I say this, and we are going to go for the first time this in March for something we've been invited to pop up at.
Meaning you're going to bring some of your product?
We'll make a small vignette of what we do for an event in Round Top, but.
And then okay, so a couple days.
But Round Top in general was, I mean, I would only go by myself, and I would and also try not to tell a lot of people that I was there. It's too much for me.
Because I'll say, come by.
Yeah,
come by.
and it's, and I feel pulled in many directions, and it's just everyone has their own Round Top that they want to show you. And so at some point it becomes like me just being dragged around to other people's Round Top, and then I don't get to experience it in my own way, on my own pace. You know what I mean? I just feel like a rag doll.
But you don't think having a booth would be...
No, I don't think I would do a booth. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time, and we're really just not really into doing these pop-ups. Of course, I say that, and we do have 2 coming up that are remote, but just because Roger and I feel like we're the best storytellers of our brand, and for us to go to like Northern California and do a little event that we're going to do in St. Helena, that's worth our while in terms of researching other markets and getting our story out.
What's your biggest relationship hack of being married to the person you work with? Like, what do you hate about it? Like, what do you just like, it's just not fun?
I don't know that I really have anything that's like, it's not fun.
Is it discussing money?
No. I mean,
is it pretty much y'all get along? Okay.
Like you have to understand, I come from a place of like always thinking I've messed up, always thinking I did something wrong, always thinking so I kind of come at things from like oh my God, we're going to get like kicked out. Oh my God, we're going to.
You're always thinking the worst.
Yes, I'm always thinking the worst. And my husband is the ultimate optimist, like he's just like, we learned a lesson. I'm like, yeah, but we like spent all this money. He's like, well, we learned, didn't we? And I'm just like, oh my God, okay, so I'm not in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's very, I'm learning so much from him because I've really never had a business on this type of scale.
I know, but there's no arguments really. Y'all guys get along.
I just don't want him doing custom sales on the register. That's really like, it's such a minute thing, but it's like.
That's it.
Yeah, because it just throws off the books. It makes,
But it doesn't, there's no stress in your marriage over it. That's interesting because I've been in business with my husband and I mean, it takes a long time to get there, I think. And you guys have been together 5 years. We've been together like almost 28.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Well, we've been together since 2016.
I know, but we've worked together for 20 years.
Yes. Well, maybe that day will come. Yeah.
But now it's easy riding. I mean, every once in a while we'll have like and it's never really about ego for me. It's more about like, we'll argue over the stupid stuff like, did you go behind my back and ask the project manager a question? It's like, well, I mean, I own the company, right?
Sounds spicy.
Well, and then I think it's just it's just one of those deals. But it doesn't ever bring it home to you like through the bedroom or being mad at each other, really. That's good. So Jackie, how old were you when you started your company with Roger?
So I think I was like 51.
Okay, well I was 30.
Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, it's either all or nothing for us, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I would have had the, guts to do anything like that when I was 37.
Most people wouldn't. I think it's, he had a job, we all, it's working and we're both working and it was like, finally it was just like, and believe me, it was not easy. Like there was times you're like, how am I going to pay my bills? Like this is not good.
Yeah.
If we don't get a job being in construction, then we don't pay our bills.
Like that, I think.
So it's different. It was
and
hard.
Also like Roger and I don't have kids together, like.
Yeah, true.
So, and
you were older doing it.
Yes, we're older doing it. So, I mean, I think we bring, a lifetime of just our different experiences into it. He's got a world of experience that, I don't even know about. And, And
that's the thing is like, you literally feel like it's successful. Like, you every day it's like, okay, well, you're so happy you're doing it and it's never too late to follow those dreams. The thing about it is if you don't ever like do that in life, like my deal is I think people will regret the failure of not doing something than to do it and fail. Does that make sense? Like, oh, I failed or I lost money. Well, that's just getting your MBA. I always said to Steven, when we lost money on jobs and people, it's down to $30,000 and they're not paying you, it's like, well, there's my MBA, or there's my,
look what I just learned.
Or look what I just learned. And so I look back and it was, yes, the money, it sucked, but it was like it taught me a lesson. Like I always learned from it. And the thing about it is I never regret taking the dip. I never regret like doing the dream.
Right.
Like taking the step.
Right.
It's huge. It's huge.
So I think that's an interesting point because like I said, I'm like, oh my God, can we do this? And oh my God, we just spent all this money.
Because you may come from a family my family was sort of like that too. You just do this and you stay and you work this way.
Right.
Yeah.
So And Roger's response is always like, nothing's insurmountable. Like we learned a big lesson. Yeah. So he's great at that. And I've really, he's a great mentor as well. I mean, if that's such a thing in your spouse, but he's been a great mentor in terms of that. And, I think that, and we have these talks all the time about, growth. And I mean, I'm very interested in my own personal growth. I mean, I always feel like I'm working on myself. And Roger and I were talking about this just, earlier today as I was preparing my notes about what I thought you might.
Speaking of the notes,
what I thought you might ask me.
But good. I'm glad you have them.
Growth is, growth can be like super icky and it can
really
be
ugly.
Really ugly and really fucked up. And, so I think about all the times I feel like you're about to make a great leap in growth.
Yeah.
It gets a little mucky and icky,
That's
in
right.
the beginning. And then what a great thing that you and your partner together have figured it out, and you make that leap forward, And so I would say this whole experience, leaving California and, marrying Roger and opening the store and, that was
Not easy.
Yep.
Dirty.
It was icky for sure and heartbreaking, and coming out on the other side of it, I mean, I'd like to think that my kids are proud of me and they can see that, mom is leaving something in, what do you leave the world at the end of the day? So
you think that they look at you with respect and mentor, and they're going to take more risks and actually follow their dreams more than they wouldn't because you're doing things that are not comfortable. That's what I've always said. I always say to my kids, when it's uncomfortable is probably when you really need to dive deep. There's a reason why.
Well, that's when the change starts to happen.
But I have many of friends that I feel like, maybe not many, but I know many of people that are completely comfortable in staying exactly where they are. However, they complain more than anybody I know about.
I don't have time
because they don't do the work. And I'm always like, just do the work.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but you'll get out of the other side, and they won't do it.
Well, I think when you talk about goals and stuff, and
they matter.
And I think it's one thing to have a goal and visualize.
Well, the dream is here, right?
Visualize that end.
Did you do it?
The end result. But
that's the goal.
all this stuff, and that's what I would want my kids or even the young folks that work for us. Is just it's all about, you got to take these steps to get to that end result. You can't just go from here to there and you're here.
Well, no, it looks like that though. People will go all the time, "Oh, Kelly, you make it look so easy."
I know.
"Oh, you did this and you did it overnight."
Right.
I mean, before I even started this podcast, I talked about it for 6 years probably, right?
I know. And
I may have even bothered you about maybe not 6 years, but maybe 3 years. Did I talk about it for a long time?
Yeah, you've been talking about it.
Because I remember friends are like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" And then you kind of talk about it, but it's the only thing I can say is just do it. Don't die with regret that you didn't. I think people that do that have more health issues. Speaking of that, they just have all kinds of stuff they've bottled up that they didn't fix,
Yes.
and you're going to have to come back here. I don't want to come back to this damn place.
No.
Do you?
No.
I don't
I think a good exercise for everyone to do, sounds kind of morbid, is to write your own obituary.
Yeah, I do. And pick your music.
Well, I
know
mean,
what
but
I'm
also
doing.
what are people going to say about you? If you have not.
What if they don't say shit? What if
There are people who are fine with that.
I'd rather you say shit and be dogging me. I want people mourning me badly at my mine, and I want men in kilts with the with the Scottish men in kilts.
Oh yeah,
and then the bagpipes, and then the full blown orchestra.
Yes.
But if they're not talking about you, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? Good or bad. That reminds me of somebody I was talking to the guys about that I follow, this guy named Joey Bro. I don't think you do, Breaux, but I think he is
Brooks.
Brilliant. And he's I'm telling you, he has the best shag hairdo, better than yours. You wouldn't believe it. Best tanks. I mean, he has.
What does he talk about?
And I don't know if you can. Maybe I should make you sing. But he literally has He has no rhythm. He has no. I don't know what you want to call it. Like, he's tone deaf.
He's awkward?
No, he's tone deaf. I don't think he's awkward. I think he's a really cool dude. I think he's the guy that went out and has like, I don't know, guys, was it 600,000 followers or something? It's crazy amount of people. So I said to people, other people that were listening to her, they started sending me these videos. I said, does he realize that he's tone deaf, or does he literally think he's the coolest guy in the room? And I think he just don't give a fuck. I think at the end of the day, he doesn't give a fuck.
What does
he
talk
loves
about?
music. I'll tell you exactly what he does. Do you mean show this, guys? Should I show this to Jackie?
Oh, that guy.
Watch it. Watch this.
I've seen him.
Watch it. No, he's a badass. Watch him.
Yeah.
He's look at him.
No, okay. I know who you're talking about. Is that a shaft?
You don't show everybody everything.
Like
what do you call that? Okay,
okay,
but
yeah.
then watch him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's a rock star.
I know. I've seen him. And you know what?
But Jackie,
God
he
bless
followed
him.
his dreams.
Right.
He did exactly his way. And look at him. And now he's singing a Lionel Richie song.
Yeah, I know him. I mean,
it's kind of brutal.
Yeah, he shows up on my.
But like, do you watch him ever? No, but you need to because
No, I have gotten through a few of his like videos.
Okay, so they're brutal for you. See, I find him joyous.
Well, because I'm like, oh
man.
God, it's so awkward, and but good
people
for him.
are making fun of him. A lot of people will make fun of him.
And I don't think he. I think I've
that's
seen.
my point. Is like he's doing it his way. He's the
Good
guy
for
that's
him.
like killing it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
good for him.
It's good for this type of platform for people like that to sort of try that out and get it out there. And I think he's responded to a couple people making fun of him. And
what does he say?
I don't think he gives a fuck.
Good.
So good for him.
Good for him.
I mean, I want to be that. Like, I want to be like that age where I'm just like, fuck.
I mean, you don't think he's our age? You don't think he just got the gray hair early and no skincare products?
I don't know. But he's living his dream.
I think it was
just talking about like social media and stuff is I probably in my like previous experience with social media, I probably was someone who was like an over poster and like always posted and always did
before you had the retail space? Mm-hmm. With posting of your kids and what you did all day?
Yeah, I was like all in. I was like Facebook and blah, blah, blah. And now I feel like the more I get into it, like with Chef Americana and everything, I was like, the less I want to be on our feed, Yeah,
I get that.
And I feel like I post.
I say that all the time. I can't watch the podcast. I cannot visually watch the
Yeah, so I'm lucky that I have girls that look great in our clothes, and they love to do
and that you're not having to model
little TikToks and stuff. I'm like, nobody wants to see me and Roger out in a field with
laying
a
there with
horse,
daisies,
like just
galloping nude.
There's just no one wants to see that.
Let me ask you this: what did you love the most when you came here? Like, had you ever worn cowboy boots before?
Yeah,
because you wear them all the time. I mean, you have a lot of cool ones. So, what was it like? Do you love the Western part? Like, what do you think Fort Worth has that I'm maybe not aware of because I've been here so long? That like, is it welcoming? Is it a cool city?
I noticed this very early on, and I said to Roger, and I said, I don't know if it's like Texas or it's a Fort Worth thing, but there's a lot of optimism here. And
good to know.
that really struck me. And, Roger might have his theories about that. I mean, he's got a theory about everything.
Yeah.
But it was like everyone is... And I don't mean nice, just like, hey, like everyone's...
You don't think it's a fake, hi you, that fake...
Oh, well, I think
they don't really care how you are, but they're just gonna...
Well, maybe they don't, but I mean, I don't...
Nothing better than a sip of tequila.
Everyone seems really nice to me. I mean, but I don't...
But you're also the new cool, cute California girl.
I also don't like socialize very much here. I mean, and I...
No, and I try to pull you in on these little things, and you're like, I don't think you've come to any of them. I've kind of realized that maybe I'm not inviting you anymore because, see, my rule of thumb is this, Jack. My rule of thumb is if I've invited you twice, I probably shouldn't invite the third time to be rejected again. But you always come if it's just me and you. But you're right. I figure you're not a group girl. And I'm not. I've never been a sorority girl thing.
No.
That's not my deal.
No.
I don't need 15 friend groups. My friend group's my friend group. And you're right, like there'll be a Christmas little party and I think, oh, she would love to engage with these women. I don't do it that often either.
No.
But when I invite you, it's like, I'm like, is she having anxiety? I can invite you on a podcast. It's like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
But if I invite you to go to a Christmas bring a little ornament and chit chat and drink tequila,
I'm just like
you're just not into it.
Just not down with the chit chat. I really am
You don't like the short bullshit. You like the
I don't
intimate
like.
conversations.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I don't do well with small talk. I mean, I can do it.
Yeah, you're good at
but
it.
I also
you're better at it than I am.
But
probably.
I also, my job is
All day.
with people all day long, and when I go home, I am like,
I kind of get like that.
I mean, I shut down, and I'm in bed by 9:30, and Roger,
I'm in bed by 9:30 a lot of times.
Yeah.
Unless it's a night out and we've done something fun, but I just the whole girly chit chat. I can't. I do a little of that.
It's a
beating for me.
It's a sensory overload for me,
and I don't need to be included in every little group. But what I'm saying to you is just know if you don't get the invite, I still like you. I'll still take you to Leon Bridges every year.
Okay, I mean,
I'm kidding you.
I'm
kind of kidding you, but I would like you to. I will keep inviting you.
I know. I mean,
because I keep thinking she's going to want to.
I know. I appreciate being invited. Yeah.
I don't invite you to that much,
but it's not.
What about this tequila? You
like
like
it.
it? Do you like it without
Isn't
ice?
this George Clooney's?
Yeah, but I do it because it's like I like it for
it's
just.
good.
But I don't know that it's a sipping tequila. You think?
Yeah, it's fine.
You like it better or you like it better with a mixer?
No, I like it.
What's
straight.
your drink of choice?
Tequila, neat.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I like Herradura a lot, and I do like this, but I like their darker one.
Tequila's a
What's the difference?
Tequila's a probiotic.
So what does that mean? Our stomach's going to be good?
Yeah, you're gonna
be good.
You're gonna be grateful tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm.
It's better for you than
Yeah.
drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're very happy you came here because of the optimism of.
Oh yes, back to that. So Fort Worth, I think the thing that surprised me the most about Fort Worth is the level of, and no judgment. I didn't really had no expectations.
That's good.
But the level of sophistication in terms of like travel, art, architecture, just culturally, I think I had no expectations, but I was just like, wow, this is like these are like very well-rounded people. And
you think? Oh,
yeah, and
good.
I thought that was like a pleasant surprise.
I have something that happens to me a lot. Like I always like to share it. Like that ain't right. And so basically, I was going to talk about this one thing, and I thought, I'll talk about that with somebody else. But I don't understand. This is the deal. So everywhere I go, people are. If you're in the fast lane going on 30 to Dallas, they're going. I don't know.
Oh, well, driving here is
25
terrifying.
miles an hour and texting and driving in the fast lane going 25 miles an hour. And I'm like,
I don't think that's a Texas thing. I think that's everywhere.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care if it's a Texas thing. What I'm trying to say to you, babe, is I just do a little beep, beep. It's not a on my horn. It's a beep, beep, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with that because you're in the fast lane. In Texas, we drive on the left lane.
No, you guys are,
Okay.
it's scary.
We're brutal.
It's terrifying.
We are like
I'm like
badass
white
drivers.
knuckling, yeah.
Meanwhile, it's just like beep, beep, and there's no response, okay? Well, okay, so a lot of times I just get over another lane and go in front of them and still like, I might do a little.
See, I don't do that. I don't. Why do you do that?
I don't know.
You don't know. You could be doing that to the wrong person.
Well, usually when I'm looking at these people, I also feel like we're all on the same road. And if I were texting somebody, I'd want them to remind me, you're not supposed to be texting. I think it should be illegal to be driving on the freeway and texting people or
Isn't
watching
it illegal?
videos. Not here, I don't think so. And so I just think it's bullshit. So then today, okay, and I would say people in my carpool when my kids were young, they would say, Mom always, she does a little beep, beep. But this guy is coming around the corner by Roy Pope, and he's coming around, and he didn't stop, and I'm going, Jackie. I have a green light to go. Doesn't green mean go?
Yeah.
So he's coming around here, and he's coming pretty fast. I'm like, is he okay? And so I had to stop at the light that's green to go. And I honked at him, like, hey, you're running your light. And he literally, when he turned, he got in the left lane going towards the traffic.
Okay.
I stop in the middle of the lane, or he stops, so I have to stop. He stops, rolls his window down, and flips me off, goes like this, and I'm like, so I stop, and kind of like, what's he going to do? He didn't put a blinker on, nothing. He stops in the middle to turn right, and he's waiting for me, and I go by him, and he does it again, flips me off. For me trying to save his life. For me saying, get out of, like, you just ran.
See, from my perspective, I don't think that honking can always be interpreted kind of like text messaging, right?
Yeah.
Like you beep. That,
You don't think that's rude? You think it's rude?
You can't interpret like from you.
But if you're doing the
saying,
wrong thing, shouldn't somebody very nicely beep at you?
I agree, but people can't interpret the beep as not nice, right? Like if you send somebody a text message that says, "What are you doing?" Or okay. And
maybe you need a friendlier horn, like beep beep.
Well, I did do that. So we need another horn on we need another horn on the car.
Does this sound like
this
Merrick?
is a sweet one. Wee wee wee. I mean,
is this on Merrick?
Yes.
That's a fast street.
Stopped
Can I tell
in
you?
the middle. He went and pulled in. He was erratic, y'all.
Okay.
Erratic.
I don't mean to bring up like a really awful story, but this is an awful story that made me feel good.
Sure. What'd you do? Save somebody's life?
No, I was on Merrick. So I have a special needs child. She was in the car with me. I don't know if I told you this story. We were coming off 30, turning onto Merrick, towards Roy Pope.
Right.
And there's that little overpass where you can maybe get like 3 cars, right? Like there, stop sign, that stop sign. I was the 3rd car. I look over to the left, and there is a girl crying, ready to hurl herself onto 30, bawling her eyes out. Took her shoes off, was like over on the edge and crying.
Like how old?
20s.
And you saved her life?
No, and I'm like, oh my God, I think this girl's gonna like jump over.
So what'd you do?
Well, I have my daughter in the car, and I have to be careful not to get her freaked out. So I see the truck in front of me. Guy gets out. The truck in front of him, the guy gets out. These two men did not know each other. I mean, I'm convinced that they did not know each other. Black guy, white guy, they look at each other, and they've all of a sudden come up with this communication that they're gonna go, so that she doesn't see them, go around like this way and pull her off the wall.
But she's sitting on the wall as if she's going to jump over.
Yes, not sitting. She's like, like 1 foot. It was, and they
Did you pull over?
I was still
check it
there.
out?
No, I was still there. The 3rd one in the car. I was the 3rd car between these 2 stops on the overpass on Merrick, and they got out of their cars, so no cars were moving.
Overpass. You're looking over 30, and
she was
standing
gonna just off herself on 30.
You think drug related?
Well,
Homeless?
I don't know, but that's the point of my story, is that she was obviously at a point in her life that was going to be her solution that day. The thing that I was so moved by was these 2 men that got out of their cars and just didn't even say a word, didn't scream at her, didn't do anything, just kind of intercepted her she didn't see them, pulled her off, and then this other woman who was like on the other side of whatever that service road is, she came over and sat with her, and I saw the whole thing. I was just like,
humanity. She sat with her.
Yeah. I was like, now I would not be able to leave my daughter in the car running just for the fact of her situation, like
she wouldn't have been good.
It would have been, no, I mean, but I remember just being like, okay, like God wanted me to see that, I feel like that's an extreme example of like the things I've seen in Fort Worth that are just like,
that's interesting.
People are.
So is it a Texas thing?
People are
it's
good.
Kinda, even to Dallas, because I'm sure Dallas are the same people. Some people don't think that. I do.
People are good, I think, and I mean, they might do bad things or they might, cut you off or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, I was
when
just
I'm honking at you, I'm trying to save your life.
I know, but not everybody. People are defensive,
I've just decided flipping off people is just not the result.
Plus, you're in a Range Rover. Yeah. Sorry.
Does that means I'm an ass?
No, but I mean, it could
be a little bit. Okay with me? This thing happened to me down in Northside. About a 5-year-old, but he was 5 years old. They did not speak English, but
meaning the parents.
Yeah, the parents.
Okay.
The parents. I see a boa constrictor around his neck. I mean, it really was not that, but it was.
Yeah, you told me that.
The snake was this big around his neck.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's halfway. It's on his neck, and he's walking around like a little 5-year-old with cowboy boots and everything. I was like, so Steven said, "There's this little boy over there with his snake." I said, "Oh, that's one of those fake snakes." He's like, "Kelly, it's a real snake." So I go over, I see it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's a real snake." I kind of tiptoe back and like try to find the manager at Letty's, and I'm like, there's a little boy in there with a snake around his neck. She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not a fake snake. It's his pet, I think."
Was it like an emotional support snake?
I don't know. And she's like, well, everybody has one. She goes,
Can we just back up? Are you afraid of snakes?
Jackie, that's a personal question.
I mean, I'm not breaking
but
any HIPAA laws by asking you that.
Not all snakes, but that snake,
Okay.
I mean, depends on what kind of snake you're bringing upon me.
Like a corn snake, you'd be okay?
I would be okay with that.
Corn snakes are sweet.
But I would not be okay with this thing.
Well, it was around his neck, not yours.
I mean, it's as thick as this mic.
Okay,
And I was like,
so like a
okay,
big
so
ol'-
he's whatever. And I know, but Jackie, snakes can get loose. Snakes can crawl out.
They can
Snakes
jump.
hiss at you.
I know.
They can jump.
They can coil, and then you know they're ready to
Yes.
strike.
And then they do this. And
Yeah. Well.
And I said to her, yeah, there's a snake. And she panicked. But then she was like, well, they can't do that. And so she walked, and I watched her. She walked up, and she's like, you can't have pets in here. And they're like, oh, it's my son's pet. And she goes, we don't do pets, and we don't do snakes. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, who in their right mind in the U.S., I think it's the United States, I've been here 57 years, seen somebody with a snake around their neck, walking around in a retail store with a snake around their neck. What would you do? Somebody walked in Sheffalo and said, oh.
Well, you're asking. Have you ever seen that Instagram where that guy's like, white women aren't afraid of shit?
No.
Do you know that guy?
No.
He's like,
does he
telling
really
you,
think that?
He's like, white women are not afraid of shit, where they're like trying to rescue, like, yeah. So
Is that true? I haven't seen it.
and there was like rescuing they're like, oh, little bear. It's like a brown bear.
We are kinda-
and
we
he's
are
like,
kinda like-
oh,
I'm
he's
not like that.
stuck, and the bear's like totally not stuck. It's charging their car, and this lady's like ready to, cuddle it.
So you would be like, huh?
I wouldn't
Tell
care.
the bear, you listen here, mister.
Yeah, exactly. Or the bear comes over that yard and that lady beats the shit out of it or keeps coming to attack her dogs.
Well, that's different.
My dogs are gone.
Yeah, but
I'm not getting out there with
No.
a broom to get a big grizzly bear off my dog.
Oh, really?
No, Jack. Not doing it.
No. I
I mean, I love my dogs, but I have pictures and I'll have to figure it out later because I'll have a lot of trauma. I'm not going to fight a bear.
right.
I'm going to scream and yell, throw some
get
pets
it. Yeah,
together,
yeah.
maybe make some noise. But to
So-
go out there with a broom and do this,
Yeah. So if a kid walked into Sheffalo Americana with a snake
Yeah.
around his
What are
neck,
you gonna do?
I mean, I'd be like,
you're going to be like, fine, it's a client.
what's your? No, I mean, I'd just like,
It wouldn't scare you
no,
at all.
no.
And
But
you wouldn't think it's inappropriate.
I mean, it would be a little surprising, and like I would see some. I mean, you haven't taken a walk down like Venice Beach. I mean, like
I have
there's
taken a walk down Venice
Okay,
Beach.
but I mean, there's lots of people who love their snakes and take them out.
Okay, whatever. I thought it was very shocking. I'll be honest with you. I did not.
But I also feel like
Man, I have the worst allergies.
I
in the
also
world
feel like
right now.
the Stockyards has kind of got that like Venice Beach kind of Santa Monica Pier vibe to it.
Sort of like it's a little bit like
you get all kinds, and it's kind of like colorful and
Sunday. It's very colorful. It's got a bunch of lowriders in the beautiful cars.
Yeah.
They're going up and down. Like you couldn't hear country music if you wanted to. Like
Right.
they'll have country music out there, but this is like
Right.
complete
Right.
music that's
Right.
interesting. I mean,
So
it's
that upset you.
good. Not the music so much,
The
but that
snake.
snake really bothered me.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're really afraid
Well, I
of
just
snakes,
think,
you're
I
like,
guess I don't like snakes.
yeah, that'd be
And
my.
I don't like bears.
Well,
And I don't like, I mean, the wilderness is fun when you're hiking, but I don't want to be attacked by a hog. My husband's always making fun of me, my whole family, because there's wild hog all over our land.
Yeah.
But they come out at night usually.
Yeah.
But still, I don't want it, I mean, like, a hog's a hog. They can
No,
kick your
yeah,
ass.
I know. I understand
right?
that. Yeah.
And like, we walked the river, those coyotes coming, and I saw that bobcat come across.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, I know
Yeah.
they can't attack you, but they can. They
So-
can get our dog.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that I volunteered at a wildlife center in Malibu before. I worked at the
And why?
California because I love wildlife.
Okay, to look at it, or are you going to go in there and
No, I was
put
feeding-
Band-Aids on their
Yes.
their fangs and shit?
Yeah, well, we didn't do snakes, but there may have been a couple snakes.
Okay, like owls. Tell me what you had. Birds.
Owls, ravens, crows, birds,
So a lot of
squirrels, possums. Yeah, a lot of like
Say-
what? Like what? Give me an
Well,
example.
I think that you can go too far in, like I said, like you're having a baby. Okay, we all get you're having a baby. You're engaged. We get it. Then we're not only were we watching you get engaged, but we're watching
Yeah,
you, say your vow. But before you know it, the wedding, they're posting everything about that. I mean, it's just every single thing. It's like with the babies now. You have the reveal party. Are you doing that at every kid? Like you're pregnant. How about just say it's a girl, it's a boy? I mean, it's like, it's too much for me. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But business-wise, I would say, I don't have anybody that I follow that bugs me business-wise.
Right.
Do you? What is it? Tell me what it is that bothers you the most.
There's
And maybe it bothers me and I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's posting the like what you're doing today and where you're going and who you're meeting with and like
Oh, like trying to one-up that you're like
well,
getting ready
you're
to-
like posting about how busy you are is
Oh,
like
yeah, that's fake.
Okay, yeah, it's like you know how long it takes me to do a fucking story?
Oh,
it takes
me
me
too.
like 2
too.
days. I'm like, Roger, you can't talk to me. I'm like,
Or just a
I
reel,
can't.
trying to put the
It's
right
too- yeah,
music with
right.
it. Yeah.
yeah.
But you're talking about like when somebody like completely is, oh, we're walking in the store today. Now we're on the beach, and that irritates you. It's like you're not doing all that.
Yeah, and like posting from the car, that's like an issue for me.
I don't know people that do.
There's
That's
a lot of business.
That's really weird.
There's a lot that post from the car.
Saying what?
It's a thing.
I'm listening to my
Roger and I have
music.
talked about it. He goes, well, they're just
I
so
think I'm not-
busy that's the only place, like he's the optimist. Like they're so busy, that's the only place that they can have a quiet moment. I'm like, yeah, but like posting from the car about like, I don't know, stuff. It's just like, I feel like there's posting just for posting's sake. And like, it's
Is it
not
because they have to keep posting? Oh, well,
Yeah.
then you know what irritates me?
I think
is
it's
I will
algorithm
be
stuff.
honest with you. I think posting yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror,
Mirror-
bugs the
mirror
living
selfies.
shit out of me.
mirror selfies.
I mean, if you do 1 or 2 a year, but people that are doing that week, is that something that, is it because you're supposed to look at the outfit and
I
the
think
couples
so.
do it together, and it's a lot for me.
the get
If I
ready,
asked
the
Steve
get
to do
ready
it,
with me,
he would be laughing.
the get ready with me.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that cool?
It's called get ready with me.
That's what that means?
Yes.
Is that cool?
I think it's a thing.
Okay. Well,
certainly.
You're asking me what
I
bothers.
wore literally this
I would
exact
say
same
I would
outfit
say getting
yesterday.
ready with me would bother the shit out of me. If my husband and I half the time
Can you imagine?
are wearing kind of the same things because we've been together for so long.
Can you
that
imagine
if I
me and
did that-
Roger?
well, y'all are in a retail business, so
When
there's
we won't even do
justification
it,
there.
yeah.
But I think there's people that do it because they think that they're going to get a following from it, or is it
Yeah.
look how cute we look together? What is it? What's the purpose of that? Now that you say that, get ready with me photo. That's what it's called.
Well, there's Get Ready With Me, which is like a video of what you're wearing that day. And then there's just outfit of, I guess it's the new version of outfit of the day.
Or they walk into a place and everybody at the rodeo was in the rodeo bathroom, girls' bathroom, taking a picture of
Well,
themselves
that's
at that
the mirror selfie.
thing. Okay, well that's a lot.
I know.
That, okay,
It's
I
a
would
good
say
thing
I would
because
say
people
that
consume it.
drives me nuts.
People do consume it. Now,
But they consume it because you're seeing the entire outfit, and you're trying. Why do you do that? Are you trying to be a, what are you trying to do? Like be an Instagram
Influencer.
yeah,
influencer?
I think it's
Is that
got
what
that.
it is?
Yeah.
Or otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Right. Now, our girls, sometimes I'm like, you guys, I love your mirror selfies because they'll do them occasionally and then I'll link it to a product or whatever on the website. And
That's
and
retail though. You're selling something. Do you know what I'm
right. Those
saying?
girls are really good at.
But do you think when you're in the rodeo bathroom, I'm just asking, I don't care that you're showing your outfit, which you think that's cute?
No.
Okay. You think that's sort of like trying too hard?
Yeah.
What do you think about like posing for a picture? Like, In an outfit, in a bathing suit, all that. Do you think that it looks better to like just not be posing, like being in the sauna, or do you think showing the entire full throttle is good?
Well, I think posing is. I think there's people. Some are better at it than others. I mean, I certainly think, but I feel like that's just the world we live in.
So we have to go with it.
I mean, I just scroll past it. You know, it's like, okay. There's
So
another mirror selfie.
So we call those posers, you think? I mean, is that doable to say
I
that?
don't even know what they're doing.
Hey, last week, Kel, we showed you the video of the guy getting arrested, right?
Oh.
He thought he was like,
There's a lot
hot
actually
and stuff
now
like
that I'm like, okay, that horse did not fall in a hole. Like, come
that.
on.
Yeah, you did show me that, and I was like,
These
that
viral-
First thing was like gross. Then you were like, okay, well, he was kind of hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, yeah.
Exactly, like it grows.
No, this is the thing
grows.
about me is I will tell you what's great about it, but then I'll also pick it apart.
Yeah.
So like, hey, if you have a great body and you want to show it all and you're all out there and you're putting
You've
yourself
done the
out
hard
there,
work,
great
go for it.
you.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, are you kind of a poser? Or are you just a normal person trying to let everybody look at you? I don't know. That's where I would probably be like, ooh, do my kids like that? That's when you ask me. It wouldn't be about me caring what people think. It'd be me going, my boys, are they going to be cool with me wearing a string bikini?
Right. My kids would be mortified.
And it doesn't even matter how fit you are.
It does.
And I mean, if you're fit even, and you have boys, which you have one boy, I think it would. They'd probably be proud of my mom. Oh, mom, you look great in a bathing suit. But they would be like, why is she posing? Why isn't she in the sauna with Steven's arm around her? Or why isn't she doing something like that where it seems more? I think my boys would be that kind of stuff. I'm more about that than I would be about stuff I say or you thinking you don't like me or I said something that you didn't like.
My kids would be like mortified.
Your girls too?
I think Evelyn would be like,
Mom.
oh, you look great, mommy, whatever. But I mean, if she really felt like it was crossing the line, she would say,
Mom,
can you take that down? Yeah.
Oh yeah, why? Yeah. So would my kids.
And I would.
And I would too. Okay, so yes, Danny.
So I'm gonna give you the secret, right? Because it's all about attention.
Yeah.
Right.
But good or bad attention? It's just attention.
Just attention.
Okay.
Right. And I'm gonna ask you guys another question after this, but when you can get attention, you can monetize it.
Yeah.
So all of these people who are doing these weird things,
that's for money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
the more
swear it's
following
not
that
just.
you get, yes. The more of a following that you can build,
whether
that be you being weird or being sexy or whatever the case
or
may
like
be,
crazy
then
or
you can turn
raunchy.
that
So
into
even if
money.
it's just every picture is about you, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't care if it's raunchy or, but if every picture you look at theirs, where mine are more about family and and the sceneries and the trips I take. If every picture is about you, you're trying to monetize you. You think you're pretty great.
Yeah, you can.
And what are you
if
wanting
you're-
to
if
do?
it's a
You're just
pretty
wanting to
girl
get
or
somebody.
a handsome guy, and there's a bunch of people that want to follow him because of that. Then whatever clothing, sunglasses, whatever he like.
And what if
wears,
it's never happening for them, but they're still doing that? Then that's just the way it is.
You're talking about just somebody who's not an influencer. That's
Yeah,
just doing
I'm talking about non-influencers that
probably just
put themselves out
self-employed
there.
or
What's the
something like
purpose of that? I'm asking you what the purpose of that is. To
Well,
tell everybody I look good?
So I think that goes to
So,
everyone is a brand, right? Like, so.
Really?
Well, or everyone is sort of putting themselves in that framework of like, well, I'm a brand, I mean, I could,
That is true.
I could do on my personal Instagram, like
Really?
all my stuff, because now I'm going to make Jackie Sheffalo a brand, even though, I mean, because I
get
have
that,
this
but if
store.
you're not in business for yourself, you're just doing
Yeah, I think
that.
everyone is
Everybody-
got
sorry,
this
guys.
mindset of branding, and I think it comes from.
Keeping up with the Joneses?
No, I think it comes from like everybody wants to know your story and everybody's got a story, and that's a real strong kind of current in the like brand storytelling. It's like storytelling.
And I love storytelling.
Okay, there's a lot of stories that just like maybe should not be told, or there are a lot of stories that like aren't that interesting because they're just like
They don't make you laugh. They're not making.
They're
They're
just-
making you look at it
yeah,
and go, why?
right.
But yeah, I agree
Right.
with you, and I do think that you
And like everyone has a story. I mean, since the beginning of time, like every human has their story or their
Yeah, but
you know, so how do you make your story unique? Well, you've got all these,
yeah, but I don't
whatever.
think I post to make for monetary reasons. He's saying that people
No,
post
but
for
people
that.
do. He's saying people
Yes,
do.
influencers that want to be influencers, but some don't
Yeah.
do it even for that, Danny. They're
Yeah,
just
some people do it because they're some people do it because they have self-esteem, right?
okay.
Right.
Well, you're that
People are
age.
trying to-
Do you think there's overposting going on when babies are born or when weddings are happening, and it's a constant who can post more? Who can do more?
Yeah, I see it happen,
365
but-
I read a
photos. Putting
statistic.
365 photos on Facebook.
Okay,
for your
I
wedding
read
is
a little
It's a
thing.
lot.
It was
It's a
like
lot.
one of the, I love like armchair psychology, and
Hey,
so
hold on, cool.
I read a thing that was like the more you post, the less happy you are in your real life. And I
see
can
that.
tell you when I overposted, I was not very happy.
Yeah, I feel like the people that do a lot of that are not happy. And that's like, that's like people that are talking about it or bragging about it or want to tell you they're great or they want to tell you, oh, I love the ones that always say, we have the best sex life in the wide world. I mean, and that's all they talk about. It's like,
That means
if you're at our age
someone's
talking
sleeping
about
on the
that,
sofa.
you're obviously on the sofa. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, Jackie,
yeah.
it was nice talking to you, my friend.
Did it get as crazy as you wanted it?
You're always crazy. Did you get your notes taken care of?
No, not one.
Well, can we bring that back for another podcast?
Yes.
What was something on there that you just didn't, and we'll close it at that. And I want to thank you, how grateful I am for you coming on, but close it with something that I didn't cover so we know. She doesn't want to. See, we covered it all.
We kind of covered it all.
We did? I knew we did.
I don't know my readers.
Well, then closes
I
out.
love an over-prepared,
Nerd.
yes.
I was gonna say, well,
nerd.
closes out with like advice, right? What's one thing that somebody who wants to change their life at any age, right? You did it at 37. You did it at 51. What's something that, regardless of your age, you got to be prepared for, your mindset?
Jackie, you want to go first?
I would say really focus on who you are and be okay with who you are. And I feel like that's the greatest thing I would want my kids to know or like my besties to know is like know who you are. And then everything you do in your life, if it does not align with who you are, get rid of it and keep going towards the thing that aligns with who you are. So you really have to know who you are.
But
You may not know who you are until you have some experiences, but
for me, it's listen to yourself, like intuitively. Like that was to me, that is a God-given gift to you to know what is right or wrong, to actually know the path that you take. If it doesn't feel right,
right.
God gave you that for a reason.
Right.
There's something to correct.
Yeah.
And I think don't ever be afraid of changing, because if you're not changing,
You're not growing.
you're not growing. Exactly. And if you're not willing to take a chance out there and change, then you'll be stuck in the same life, doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and getting the same results. Sweet. Thank you, my friend.
Cheers to that.
We're so wise. I love it.